Greetings, everyone. Madam Chair, firstly, let me start by saying congratulations on your position as Managing Director of the LPGSA, a magnificent appointment as the first female MD since the association inception of 34 years. We are already seeing evidence of the impact you're making and look forward to the journey that lies ahead for this sector. Now, before I actually respond to your question, I want to just quickly direct my intro to two powerful men who introduced this webinar. Dear Deputy Director General, Mr. Magubela, and the Chairman of our association, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you for taking this time out of your demanding diaries, your active into of gender equality, and more specifically, the visible contribution we're seeing from you personally. Your commitment, your passion is seen beyond intention. Your actions are sincerely acknowledged. If I was standing at a podium right now in front of all of you, I would be calling for a round of applause. So, yeah, let me move on. Let me start with some context before I respond to the actual points put forward. Beyond the global pandemic, the recent country rights and electricity crisis has exacerbated the impact on the SA economy. As we know, SA entered this COVID-19 crisis on the back of a prolonged environment of slow and low economy and employment outcomes. Fortunately for the LPG sector, we were part of the pool of essential services supply. Now, despite all these challenges, all is certainly not lost. Business confidence continues to show significant growth potential for South Africa. Specific now to the LPG topic on hand. Government announced the drive of use of LPG as one of the interventions to ensure electricity supply security in the country. The target and challenge, and you heard from our DDG, set by him to the LPG industry and our minister, was doubling the LPG penetration in the country over the next 5 years. So some slow steps, but very encouraging, and ongoing actions that continue on this project, with all boding fairly well for growth and investment in this country. As you can gauge, we have started this collaborative journey. The opportunity is immense. The LPG industry and the stakeholders welcome this initiative to grow, develop, and increase this LPG market, which is underdeveloped in South Africa. We're no longer drowning, and you heard Walter say this earlier, in the dependency of refinery production. Two import infrastructures have been commissioned in the country. Together with government, the timing is perfect and right to unlock the significant potential of the SA LPG market. So the current activities surrounding this expansion of the LPG market in an effort to support economic recovery, being programs like enterprise development through many initiatives, and more importantly, is creating direct and indirect employment opportunities through a vast spectrum. What is the spectrum about? Some examples being in installation and maintenance, appliances being imports or manufacturing, LPG transport, bulk and packed, training in terms of learning and development, including health, safety, and regulatory areas. Now, specific to the LPG industry, we have a long way to go, but we are making steps in terms of commitment in its transformation agenda, with tangible examples where it truly walks the talk on meaningful actions taken in the development of its workforce through diversification and skills transfer. The evolution of the perception that the LPG industry was more for males and not an environment for females is a no. I speak from personal experience here. Fillers, drivers, depot managers, plant operational roles, previously assumed to be male-dominated positions, are now being filled with females. My goal beyond market development is to inspire, support, and advocate a career move for potential women across all facets of the sector. Women empowerment, as well as diversity policies, shall move from intention, from a tick box exercise, to a deeply rooted culture with real conviction. Now, before I hand back to the chair, I want to actually just also steal this opportunity to repeat from my previous two speakers and say thank you to Khadi and her team at the LPG SA for initiating and coordinating this webinar. Alison and crew from the WLPGA for their continued support of SA and belief in the SA market. Well done on raising the voice and attention of LPG. We certainly have a long way to go and look forward to the support. We must recognize that this topic goes way beyond Women's Month. I encourage you to enjoy this webinar, engage, and let's maintain the momentum on this important subject matter. Thank you, and back to you, Chair. Yes, at Oryx, we're very passionate in terms of skills development, skills transfer, enterprise development. The list in terms of initiatives is enormous. It's indeed heartwarming. I'm going to highlight a few examples. One of them that I'm personally very close to is in terms of universities, getting out to them, having conversations with young graduates to join our grad program. We have a successful graduate program running now for the past 6 to 7 years. We welcome them on board to understudy a specialist. We rotate them across various roles within the organization. We give them an opportunity to apply after the 12-month program. And if there is further potential we see, we actually employ them. So we have many successful appointments, some that are actually now reaching acceleration programs by way of promotions internally since the graduate program. The other is Win LPG and Conversations That Matter. It's to identify a coach and a coachee. So as much as we sing this anthem around women's development and diversity and inclusion, it is all up to you. You have to take responsibility to identify a coach. We speak about men being extremely skilled in this organization or the sector. It is important. We are not intimidated by them, but we are rather inspired by them. We are able to select them as a coach and let them walk on this journey in terms of commitment with their coaching and skills transfer. I am evidence of that. The others, to quickly tell you about them in terms of enterprise development, we have the container project with gas installations. We have chefs with compassion in terms of feeding schemes. The container project also expands to libraries set up at schools.